Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. You all see the thumbnail. Think back to New Year's Eve 2015, 2015. Most people were not glued to politics. They were thinking about their budgets, their families, maybe a small raise or a vacation we could finally afford. There was a quiet thing about that time. Not perfect, but steady. People could make plans without constantly worrying about what would break down next. So in 2016, life was predictable. Today in 2026, life feels very volatile. Prices jump, gas hurts more, and the future feels less certain. This talk looks at the hard numbers on bills, jobs, daily life. It also looks at the psychology, including the uncomfortable truth about how a black man in the White House shattered some people's sense of reality and helped fuel the backlash that followed. This is not just a history lesson, it's just a roadmap to getting the steady feeling back, the one where people can breathe a little bit, plan how we felt back then. That's all. It was how we felt back then.
American culture at this point, what is truly American, is black culture to a large degree. Flip on the television set. Look at Pulp Fiction. You can choose whatever examples you want. It's had a profound influence on this entire nation, and it has to be affirmed.
President Obama was dragged and called unpresidential for chewing gum during a visit to India in 2015. He was dragged and called unpresidential for wearing a tan suit in 2014. He was blasted for saluting Marines while holding a coffee cup in 2014. He was criticized for throwing the first pitch without a jacket in 2010. He was mocked for wearing a bike helmet in 2010. He was criticized for putting his feet on the desk of the Oval Office in 2009. He was criticized for working in the Oval Office without a suit jacket in 2009. He was criticized for not always wearing an American pin early in his presidency. He was criticized and mocked for putting Dijon mustard on his burger in 2009.
So I just saw this interview with Barack Obama. He's recently, this seems like it came out like yesterday, where he responds to the whole Trump guerrilla video stuff. He's talking about the state of the world and aliens. He's like, yeah, there's aliens. I don't give a fuck. There's aliens. And as I'm watching him talk, I'm like, I can't believe he was our president. It was so like articulate and charming and educated and chill and calm and clear, and just it was such a calming presence, and we didn't appreciate him. We did not appreciate Obama, clearly, because yeah.
When I ran for the presidency in 08, I fly down to South Carolina. Alarm goes off, and I feel terrible. I am exhausted. Think I'm coming down with a cold. I open up the curtains. It's pouring down rain outside. Pouring down rain. Horrible day. I get the newspaper outside my door, and there's a bad story about me in the New York Times. I get dressed, shave, walk out. My umbrella blows open. That ever happened to you? And I get soaked. I'm just soaked. I get in the car. I say, all right, how long is it going to take to Greenwood? An hour and a half. Finally, I get out and I walk in, and there are like 15, 20 people there. And I will tell you, they didn't look any happier to see me than I did to see them. And so I go around the room and I say, how do you do? What do you do? But they're not really feeling it right now. And suddenly I hear this voice from the back just shout, fired up. And everybody in the room says, fired up. And then I hear the voice say, ready to go. And everybody in the room says, ready to go. And I don't know what's going on. I think these people are crazy. Maybe I shouldn't have come here. And then I look in the back of the room, and there's this middle-aged woman. She's got a big church hat, and she got, I think, a gold tooth. Turns out she holds a position in the local NAACP office, and also, I'm not kidding you, is a private detective. This is a true story. She's like a she's like a private eye. Although it's hard to think that you wouldn't see her coming. She's very colorful. And she is known wherever she goes by saying this chant, fired up, ready to go. And every meeting she goes to, she does this thing. But the interesting thing is, after a while, I'm starting to get kind of fired up. I'm starting to feel like I'm ready to go. And all those negative thoughts and all those bad memories start kind of drifting away. And it just goes to show you how one voice can change a room. And if it can change a room, it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a state. And if it can change a state, it can change a nation. And if it can change a nation, it can change the world. So I just have one question for you. Are you fired up? Ready to go? Fired up? Ready to go? Fired up? Ready to go?
So, in 2016, we had inflation, of course, 1.3% for the whole year. Prices barely moved. Average gas price was $2.14 to $2.25. We could fill up without doing mental math about skipping whether we could get 20 items or 15 items. Now we get about 5 items, 6 items, and that's $100. I mean, numbers are crazy these days. Think about what it actually felt like back then. We could afford shit. We could afford stuff. People go to the grocery store right now and roughly know what they are going to spend and know what they probably won't be able to get. They did not walk into that store thinking, what changed? Is the beef high? Is this high? Is that high? They could fill a tank up without doing math in their head. They could still sit down at the kitchen table and say, okay, rent is this, groceries is this, gas is this. We okay. People can't do that now. We can't do that to these days. This 10 years later, we can't do that these days. That feeling right there is not luxury. That is stability. That feeling that you felt when you knew Obama was there. That is stability. Stability is what most working people are really chasing around here. Not being rich, not being perfect, just predictable. I just want the world to stop spinning. When people lose that, they do not just lose money. They lose their peace of mind. Stability is a silent gift. It really is. People do not notice how steady, how calm, how on the money people are until it's gone. When prices stay the same, the brain has more room to think about the kids, hobbies, joy. When prices keep jumping, when stuff is erratic, people's brain gets stuck in survival mode. And I think that's where we all are right now, wondering when the next shoe is going to drop.
I just wanted you to know, baby, you're the best.
I love the
Just wanted to show you guys this video clip of the old days. Remember when presidents went out and randomly met people? This was Obama.
Anna, good to see you. Are you real? Yes, I am. I'm not wax. Yeah. How are you? What's your name? Good to see you, Patrick.
Oh my God.
Nice to meet you, I'm Ryan.
Good to see you, Ryan. How are
I'm
you?
here and I'm so
Good to see
excited.
you. Well, give me a hug.
Oh.
I'm glad you're excited.
Oh,
I'm excited.
can I get a picture?
Yes, you
Oh
can.
Okay, let's move.
They were just people randomly out, and he went out to walk amongst the people. I hope we can get that back.
In case y'all forgot what a president was supposed to sound like, this is a snippet from Obama's speech at Jesse Jackson's funeral.
We are living in a time when it can be hard to hope. Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions. Another setback to the idea of the rule of law. An offense to common decency. Every day you wake up to things you just didn't think were possible. Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others, and that some don't even count at all. Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated, and bullying and mockery masquerading as strength. We see science and expertise denigrated, while ignorance and dishonesty and cruelty and corruption are reaping untold.
And the inspection and transparency regime necessary to verify that objective will be put in place.
Like Obama, I played golf with him. I do like him. Very, very interesting guy. A lot of charisma.
He's the best president in my lifetime, for sure. He was the most statesmanlike, the most articulate. He was the most reasonable and measured. And he embodied, in my mind, what I would like to represent the United States.
Yeah, but we also have to look at this. Back then, our economy and everything was stable. The gas prices in 2016 were steady and very low. Driving to work or family visits did not hurt the budget like they do now. 2026, the national average has been around $3.95, $4.15 per gallon. Recently, nearly doubled. Every fill up now takes real money out of groceries or savings. Man, I ain't budgeted in years. Now I got a budget. Now compare 2016 to today. People do not just feel pressure. They feel constant pressure. Every bill feels like a fucking question mark. Every trip to the store feels like, why is this higher again and again and again? Now, when I go to the store, I got to go straight to the discount. I got to go to the discount area. Okay. I don't know about nobody else, but I got to go straight to the discount area. Okay. Eventually, we're going to start getting frustrated. We're going to start getting mad. Not because right now people are telling us that we can't even afford our lifestyle. We can't afford the things that we should have afforded 10 years ago. We should have been able to afford 10 years ago. What happened? Okay. What happened? This didn't happen to just one person, one group of people, what set of people. This had nothing to do with immigration, immigrants, some people. This had nothing to do with that. Okay. We just know something ain't right about what's going on now. We just know that. Paycheck to paycheck. 2016, the median household income was $60,000. Adjusted for price then, rising slowly but steady. People had money to go on vacations. People had money to put money to aside and buy a motorcycle, buy extra shit. The latest thing people were trying to buy was the PC, PlayStation shit. Okay, having loans, being able to pay loans. Now, people's savings is wiped out. People's 401k got to be checked out every month in order to pay the rent. Latest figures reach $83,000 2024 dollars. But after years of faster pricing, extra money does not go as far as it used to on food and bills. In 2016, it was slower. Real progress was happening. You could see where the money was. You could see where the money went. Today, people are just trying to keep up. We're just trying to pay our rent. Just imagine you make, I don't know, $27 an hour, and your mortgage is $2,000. Where your money at? If you don't get married, if you don't live with somebody, if you don't share your income, you don't share the bills, you broke trying to pay for rent, pay your mortgage, pay a car note, pay insurance. You broke. Okay? People are broke. In late 2026, 2027, about 80% of Americans told Gallup poll they were satisfied with the quality of their life. That number, people felt good. People felt better about their life. They expected things to get better. They had hope. People who had real hope, it was 56%. Economic confidence was positive. In 2025, 2026, that I feel good about America, I feel good about satisfied with the quality of my life in 2026 is about 48%. Almost half of what it was in 2026. Okay. Now, they don't expect their lives to be better in a year. They don't expect it to get better in a year. The lowest future optimistic Gallup poll in 20 years, University of Michigan, said 47.6%, the worst in over 70 years. But hope is a strange thing. It's not loud. It does not show up in the headline, but people feel it when it's there. People feel hopeful when it's there, and they feel like it. They also feel it when it's gone. Right now, I don't feel that hope with people anymore. People don't feel that hope like they did in 2016. Back then, a lot of people believed if I keep going, things will get better. A lot of people believe that. 80% of the people believe that. Now, only 47.6 people believe that. Only 46, from 80% down to 47%. Where the hell did all that hope that we need go? This is from 2016 to now. That belief, when you think it's going to get better, when you think the world is going to get better, it affects how hard people work. It affects how they raise their children. It affects whether they take risks or play it safe. But then compare that hope, that 80% of hope to today. More people are asking, what if things do not get better? The shift from it will get better to what if it won't is where the mood of the country is right now. Trust is something people do not talk about enough because people do not notice it when it's there. People do not notice the trust when it's there. But for all intents and purposes, when Obama was president, people trusted that it was there. People trusted the country when Obama was there.
The luxury of politics being boring. How old do you have to be able to remember when you had the luxury of feeling American politics was boring? And you were right. Now we have a president who is a joke, a president who is an unavoidable joke for people doing daily, nightly comedy. And Donald Trump doesn't like the joke.
Obama so much. We had it so good. Was Obama the perfect president? No, not by any means. Each president has had their fault. But Jesus Christ. I grew up with Obama in office, okay? Obama was in office from 2008 to 2016. That's my entire, teen life, okay? Y'all ever seen The Crown? You know that moment on one of the first few episodes of season 1 in The Crown after the king dies? And, Winston Churchill is giving his, basically his speech over the radio. There's a part where he talks about growing up in the August summers of Queen Victoria. And I'm just like, you know what? That's how I feel about Obama right now. It was a beautiful time. I was still able to go back and forth from Mexico. Getting a passport was $25. Gas was like $2.50, maybe $3 sometimes. I'll admit, gas was expensive. I'm not gonna lie, but Lord, everything else wasn't. At that time, ramen was less than 25 cents. I know I said I wanted to grow up, but I'm tired of this, Grandpa. And I know it's too damn bad, but I'm tired.
Am I the only one that, like, every single time I see Barack and Michelle Obama, I just want to cry? Like, we literally had it. We had it made. And I just know Kamala would have just been, I don't know. I'm just so disappointed in y'all. The fact that this is happening right now is mind blowing. It's like it's not even real. And like people are literally just living their lives like this shit is normal. It's not normal at all. It's not normal. I just saw a video of a baby being zip tied. A baby. No more than one. This is not normal.
When President Obama took office in 2009, the country was in an economic freefall. Unemployment is now at 4.7%. 82 straight months of job growth. That is the longest streak ever in the history of our country. Under President Obama, the high school graduation rate in this country hit 83%. That's the highest it has ever been in the history of this country. Under President Obama, we have had the first drop in the federal prison population in decades. Under President Obama, after a concerted effort by his administration, homelessness among American veterans dropped by half. Under President Obama, 16 countries around the globe gave up every last ounce of their highly enriched uranium, taking away the risk that it could be stolen or misused to assemble the core of a nuclear weapon or to make a dirty bomb. President Obama, in 2011, ordered the Navy SEALs into Pakistan on that mission that killed bin Laden. Under President Obama, banks can no longer use your money that you deposit in that bank to make risky bets for their own profits. When President Obama took office, the deficit was about 10% of our GDP. It is now about 3% of our. Under President Obama, our country's dependence on foreign oil plummeted. President Obama overturned the ban on scientific research using stem cells. President Obama upped by billions of dollars the resources available for mental health care in the VA. And under this president, gay couples finally got all the same options as straight couples. Oh, and you can't be denied health insurance because of a pre-existing condition. And you can't be charged more for your health insurance because you're a woman. And your health insurance can't put a lifetime cap on what you're allowed.
In fact, most of the things that the Trumpies like about Trump, Obama did better. We'll go with unemployment. Obama did better. Economy. Obama did better. Deportations. Obama did better. He was able to deport way more people than Donald Trump, and he's able to do it on 1/10 of the freaking budget. Yeah? And without sending fucking goon squads into American cities. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get across a health care bill. Trump can't. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get tax cuts for the low and middle class. Trump, for the upper class, for the rich. Obama did it better. So trying to say that Obama did it too on any subject just shows the failure of Trump and the failure of his people to recognize that everything that Trump said Obama did it fucking better. They just don't like.
I have this fear that I am going to die with a pit of sadness in my stomach, wishing that I could go back to a time in history when things made sense. I realize that sounds very boomer, but I'm just talking about like when Obama was president, and for whatever reason, I naively believed that our future was bright.
The rogue behavior of agents of the federal government is deeply concerning and dangerous. But we should take a moment to appreciate the extraordinary outpouring of organizing, community building, decency, citizens saying this is not the America we believe in, and we're
People don't notice when they're comfortable. They notice when strife and headache and expenses and all that other stuff come along. They only notice when it's gone. We only notice when it's gone. We forget how calm, cool, and collected it was under Obama. You didn't hear about Obama and what he did every day. That was the last time we heard from a president. That was the last time we had calm, cool, and collected in the White House. People didn't agree a lot with what he had to say. Nobody has to, you don't have to agree with what he said. But the one thing you cannot say is that we did not run from pillar. We did not hear one story, one controversy every day, all day. We hear that now. But in 2016, we did not hear controversy every day, all day. Okay? See, when people feel calm, cool, and relaxed, that was the last time we felt. That was the last time we really, really felt it. When we really, really felt relaxed. No way in hell you ever thought that you felt relaxed under Donald Trump in any one of his terms, not the first or the second. I know I didn't, and most people didn't. And most people were so worried about Joe Biden and the COVID and all that. We have not felt that kind of calm, that kind of peace since Obama in 2016. This is what I'm trying to say. That feeling allowed us to relax just enough to live our lives and not be miserable. Not everything is miserable. We didn't have wars. We didn't have food prices. Under Joe Biden, the food prices was high. The inflation was high. All that was high under Joe Biden. Under Trump, food prices, everything was high. Wars, we got everything. COVID, everything. The last time we all felt calm and we felt like the world was working for us and our money was working for us and we felt better was when we were under Obama, and that was 2016. Now, more than ever, people feel like they have to watch everything now. Watch everything. Watch what they spend. Watch what they say. Question everything. Worry about what's coming next. And now that trust is gone. That we can't trust our government to take stress out of our lives. In late 2016, Obama's job approval was 60%. 60%. A lot of people saw him as steady on the economy, respectful of the law and everyday people, and reliable with foreign leaders and NATO. We didn't have no problems with NATO. NATO wasn't laughing behind our back. NATO wasn't telling us they wasn't going to fight for us. And in whatever conflict we got into, they were right there for Barack Obama. Global approval of the U.S. leadership was around 45 to 50%. Over 50% of Americans said the person who is president affects their own happiness. Make it make sense. Over 50% of Americans said the president is the person that affects their happiness. And that was Barack Obama in 2016. Now what do we have? We got to wake up to a fresh hell every day, trying to figure out what's going on. Trying to figure out, are we going to be in a war? Trying to figure out, is Iran going to figure out how to put a nuclear weapon over here in the United States? Are our bases safe around the world? This is what we have to wake up to every day. We didn't wake up to that under Obama. Obama 2016 was the last time that we have calm. We didn't have this goofy shit going on every day. Okay. And a strong, well-studied argument says part of that shift from the hope to the polarization which brought about Donald Trump was the real resentment people tied to Obama. And this is where the Tea Party was born when Obama got elected because he was black. And that's a part of MAGA. That's the beginnings of MAGA. People think MAGA is the beginning. MAGA ain't the beginning. The Tea Party was the beginning because they couldn't believe that we had elected a black man. So for generations, some white Americans grew up with an unwritten social ladder in their mind. No matter how tough life got, they felt they were still above certain groups. White folks felt as though they were better than black groups. Being white meant a certain default status. Obama's election did not just put black man in the White House. It physically proved that the old ladder was true, or the old ladder was broken. Here was a smart, articulate black man who became the most powerful person on earth. He was respected globally. He won twice. For some people, that was not just politics. It was a direct challenge to the idea that white meant the top. See, that's why I look at people goofy when I hear people say, oh, black people ain't as smart as white people. Yes, they are. You can't, intelligence doesn't come along with skin color, opportunity, nature, nurture. All of those things contribute to intelligence. Has nothing to do with skin color. Okay. And far and above and away, Obama stood and still stands heads above our current president. Okay. So with people thinking that white was the top, this was what researchers called status threat. 2018 study said political scientist Diana Mertz tracked the same voters from when Obama got elected the second time to 2016. She found that personal pocketbook pain, people's pocketbook, did not explain the swing to Trump as much as the feeling among white Americans that their group's dominant status was slipping. Because we had it good under Obama. We had it very good under Obama. That was the last time that we actually had it good, was under Obama in this country. We didn't have it good under Trump that first time. Because people like to dream right his influence on his first time. They like to wax poetically about what he did on his first term. His first term was shitty. And he didn't know what he was doing. And he was firing people left and right who didn't want him to do what he wanted to do. There were certain types of guardrails back then, but he was firing those people left, right, and center because he couldn't do what he wanted to do. He didn't want to stay in the parameters of being a president. So eventually Donald Trump went off the rails in the first term. And by God, COVID stopped him from doing a lot of that. So we never really had it good under Trump. We never really had it good under Biden because everything was so high, and we never had it good. We don't have it good now. The last time we had it good was 2016. It was what it was. But people resented Obama so much, okay? They thought their dominant status, white people thought their dominant status was slipping. So because of that rising racial diversity at home and the sense that America was losing its top spot in the world, this is how we got Donald Trump. And we got Donald Trump for the second time because people was like, well, it must have been great under Trump. It was never great under Trump. It wasn't mainly about the wallet. It was about the ego and the sense of place. Seeing a black man who's smarter, more powerful, more respected, globally shattered that old assumption that white meant in charge. And Obama was the one that was in charge in 2016. For those who tied their own worth or group pride to that ladder, it felt like a personal loss to them, like the world was being turned upside down. So when a country changes socially, culturally, economically, not everybody's experiences that change the same way. Obama was smooth. All his years were pretty much smooth at that second term. Okay, but a lot of people don't react to facts. They assume because you have darker skin that you're not as smart, you're not as capable, you shouldn't be leading the world. And this is what came out of leading the world, Obama leading the world. It was Tea Party, what you call MAGA. That was the beginning of MAGA right there, because they didn't like Obama because he was black.
We're going to fight back.
Okay, it just was what it was.
That we have quite a number of dark days.
This pit
That
I told Michelle.
I can explain to you why it was bad the first time. Nobody can explain to you why it was bad the first time, Black America. You have to go back and find out why it was bad. It was bad under Trump. It was bad under Trump. It was bad under Biden, and it was bad under Trump again. People just want to wax poetically about that. I remember that. I remember the COVID. I remember the fact that we had 1 million plus people die under COVID under Donald Trump's watch. I remember that. I remember he refused to endorse masks. I remember him doing tax cuts and throwing us in the ditch. If you don't remember any of that, I can't help it that you don't remember none of that. I remember all of that. Okay. You can't just say because he won because of he won over Kamala this second time that it was something good. It wasn't something good. Most of the people that voted were young. And most people don't pay attention to politics no way. So if you don't pay attention to politics and somebody said, oh, Trump was amazing. Trump is amazing. Kamala is dumb. Kamala is dumb. Trump is amazing. Trump is amazing. 9 times out of 10, because people are sheep, they're going to vote for the person that everybody else wants to vote for. See, you have to have your own mind. I have my own mind. I understand that he wasn't the best president. I understand it was shitty. The last time that we had everybody, the country was happy, healthy, growing, thriving was under Obama. Okay. You just have to go back and look at the record. The record is what it is. It is what it is. You can't change the record. You may want to, but it don't matter whether he beat Kamala or not. There's a lot of sheep out there. There's a lot of sheep out there. And on top of the fact that Kamala said she was going to do the same thing that Joe Biden did. So if you think Joe Biden did a bad job, you thinking it's bad, it ain't no good, it's terrible, then obviously you're going to think that Kamala, because she said she was going to do the same thing as Trump, as Biden, you're going to think she's going to do the same thing. So we're going to keep the same shitty policies. So obviously they were going to vote for Trump. And here we are in a ditch. Here we are in a ditch. All this music.
Hello, everybody. As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service to you, your family. The sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that... Hey!
Hate that doggone music. Yeah. But see, I gotta play the music because it's right along with that. A lot of these people, Americans, felt overlooked in this economy. In 2016, we had a thriving economy. We had food wasn't high, gas wasn't high. Gas was like $2.20. Okay, food was in normal pricing range. We could afford stuff. You go to the store and get 30, 40 items and pay like $100, $150. It wouldn't cost you all that much money. Now that's not the case. I'm not saying everybody felt this way. I'm not saying that. It's about recognizing enough people felt it strongly enough about Obama for Trump to walk in through the door. Okay? If people were truly honest, that was the best time. That was the best time that we could look in our history, our recent history. Okay. Distrust of the government, cultural shifts. I don't want to put it down to the fact that Barack Obama was black, but it's always been a backlash. When black people have success, white folks get upset. White folks start getting antsy and nervous because the bottom line is they understand what it is to be. They understand how the minority gets treated, how the minority people gets treated. White people understand how minority gets treated. They don't want to be the minority. So they get anxious when they see a black person in charge. They don't want to be the minority. It's amazing that you don't want to be the minority. Why wouldn't you treat the minority better? I don't understand that, but that's the way it is. Okay. And this is what we had. This is how we came up with having Donald Trump. So because if people think black people are not supposed to be over top of them, then one becomes the president and does the job competently, they do not get annoyed. They feel threatened. The country they thought they knew suddenly feels unfamiliar. Okay. Rapid demographic changes, more immigration, projections of a majority minority America made that threat even worse. That's how we got Donald Trump. Trump's language: take our country back. Take your country back from where, sir? Where were we taking our country back from? Barack Obama was the black president. So apparently you were trying to take it back from the black folks. I don't understand. What do you mean take our country back? Where was it going? You wanted strong borders. America First spoke directly to that fear that the old order was disappearing. For those who felt the latter had been kicked out from under them, white folks voting for the candidate who promised to restore it felt like self-defense. That's why people voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump was not competent in any way. I have to say this one thing. He went against Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton runs circles around all of these men. Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, George Bush. She would run circles around all of them if she was the president. That's how competent Hillary Clinton is. Because we have a little misogyny, because we have what we have in this country, of course she couldn't be a president. That's why Michelle Obama said, y'all don't look at me to be no president. Y'all don't look at me to run because y'all ain't ready for me to run. Y'all not ready for me to be a president in this country. Okay? And that is how we brought about Donald Trump. This is also where the dystopian talk comes from. If people no longer feel like the default or the one that's in charge, the whole country changes. Obama's success shattered long-held assumptions for some people. It turned symbolic. Progress for millions felt like losses for others. That tension, that hope for some threat for others, helped create the polarization that we got from Donald Trump. Part of what broke the steady pace was the I need it now culture. The I need it now culture that we got. Okay. Everything became faster. Faster money, faster decisions, faster reactions. It's wild. This is wild. But we were happier when Obama was the president. Hey guys, we were happier in 2016. Okay. After 2020, trillions in fast government spending for quick relief felt good in the moment, but helped drive inflation. And it peaked at 9.1% under Biden. So nobody was happy under Biden. Nobody was happy. Nobody liked what was going on with Biden. Okay? Nobody. Nobody likes what's going on now. And nobody liked what was going on under President Trump. Wait a minute. It was no stability anyway. Okay? When all of this is put together, everything is put together. Rising costs, less predictability, lower trust, cultural tensions, loss of long-term thinking. It becomes clear we had it better under 2026. It was a series of shifts that all moved in the same direction, away from stability towards uncertainty. This is what we got. Okay. The good news is people do not have to go back in time. They just have to choose stability over chaos. We just have to choose stability over chaos. That's all we got to do. People got to do that. Imagine a regular family in 2016. They could sit at the kitchen table, look at steady prices and gas prices, and realistically save money for vacation for a better future. Compare that to the family today who cannot plan because every month brings new shocks. People need to demand boring leadership. Again, a government that feels like a quiet service, not this reality show that we got. They need steady prices, steady rules, reliable energy, and leaders who respect the rule of law and the people enough and respect the people enough to be consistent instead of chasing the next headline. That ain't what we got right now. We got chaos in the building. I don't know about nobody else, but I'm sick of that. I got a headache. I'm dizzy from dealing with people every day, dealing with different government every day, dealing with a different president every day, a different fresh hail every day, a different talking point every day. Optimism is not magic. It's the result of steady prices, steady rule, and a leader who respects the rule of law and respects the people enough to be consistent. People had it, and we had it in 2016. That was the last time we had a steady president, a steady human being, a steady leadership where we can look to that and say, okay, we ain't finna have somebody invade our country. We ain't finna have a war. We ain't finna go to war. We ain't finna do nothing goofy. The numbers prove that. The feeling in the gut proves that. We had steady pace in 2016. That was the last time we had it. This country can learn from that progress that we had back then. We need to demand that type of energy. We need to demand that type of respect. We need to demand that type of steadiness from our leaders. Because we are all on every step. I don't know about y'all, but every day I wake up, what the fuck somebody done did now? What the hell done did now? Y'all over there attacking the Pope? You attacking the Pope? Are we serious right now? And the only place that I can remember that we had a steady hand in this government, in this country, respect around the world, respect around people, respect around the rule of law was 2016. That was the only time I remember us having it. That was the last time I remember us having it. Okay. And that's wild. That 10 years and we are here in the middle of this chaos. I thought we were supposed to get better as time went on. I thought we were supposed to develop. Our country was supposed to develop. People were supposed to develop. We were supposed to get better as time went on. That's not the case now. That's not the case. And I'm for one, I'm just sick of it. We knew it was going to be chaotic because the first term, people don't remember his first term. People don't remember Trump's first term. It was chaotic then. Saying goofy shit, doing goofy shit, changing stuff when you ain't supposed to be changing stuff, talking crazy to leaders, pushing leaders out the way when you walk into a room, physically pushing other leaders out of the way. These are the things that we had from Donald Trump in the first term. People didn't remember that, but I'm here to remind you, this is what we had back then. And we have it even worse now. So now we have an option to change that. Hopefully we can change that soon enough. Hopefully people get their head out of their ass and start changing things, wanting things to change. So, but I appreciate y'all stopping by. Please put a like, share, and a comment. Please like, share, and comment the video. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. I was just feeling very nostalgic today with the chaos that goes on in this world. I was like, man, I don't even know when I felt good about being. I don't even know when I felt better about the world, about my place in it, and things that we had to do and how our country can go forward. It seems like our country is continuing to go backward. The minute we got into this immigration garbage, it seems like we're going backwards. Please put a like, share, and comment. And give me a like if you like the video. Give me a heads up and some comments. And I appreciate you. And I will see you guys in the next one. I appreciate all of you guys. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. I appreciate it.